Hello there. I'm just kind of spur of the moment doing this video here because somebody I played against asked me if I could show them my Necro build. It kind of occurred to me that maybe I should cover my demon builds before like prestige, the pre-prestige build, so level 45. I might title the video Ultimate Build Video or something, but I just want to preface that by saying what works for me might not necessarily work for you. What I've been trying to do is just prioritize one survivor per class, and over here I've been just trying to, I don't know, I've just been doing the other three, and somehow Henrietta got screwed over. The demon grind is real. So I'll start with Warlord. This is just my level 45 ultimate build, if you will. I have the puke all ranked up because I really like the puke feature. That's probably one of the coolest things about her basics that I like. So I have a focus on her basic units and the boss mostly because I just really like playing the boss unit the most on this demon, and she just makes me laugh. Her move where she basically farts and there's a gas of methane or whatever kind of enhances her gameplay when you're playing as her. So I think this boss unit is one of the most fun to play as. Yeah, because you can like fart and you can like do a circle around people and like trap them in the fart cloud and they have to get out. It's funny. Yeah, so that's pretty much this is my build. I'm not gonna like explain every little friggin' thing. A lot of the upgrades are into her basic units and the boss unit herself, just because I love the combat with her. And that's about it for her. That's my ultimate level 45 build. So pre-prestige. Alright, I'm gonna showcase my puppeteer next. I kind of ignore the basics quite a bit in this build. So my basics are kind of just meh, and I don't really like the explosions, so I didn't like upgrade the explosion range and all that like a lot of people do. Yeah, I don't like playing against it, so I don't want to be a guy that like just wins by exploding everywhere. My puppeteer and my elites are mostly the focus of this build. That's my puppeteer build. Nothing too fancy. These two demons are kind of my main demons, if you will. I don't know, I just really like the skeletons so much that... Okay, so this is my build. Again, I'm not going to go into every little thing and like tell you what everything does, but I'm sure if you're playing long enough, you'll be able to look at it and go reference it yourself. But the idea here, my logic behind this build is, way to play this character is to just amass an army of skeletons, kind of like in the movie, not by possessing and just like hitting them a few times, but I like for there to be an army of skeletons everywhere and just keep throwing skeletons at them until they're overwhelmed and out of resources. And I want their last moments to be surrounded by an army. That's what my whole build is based on. I didn't like upgrade his grab or any of the boss's fancy moves too much. The main thing here is with this build, I've upgraded the basic unit and the elite units on this guy. I like to have all my NPC units do all the fighting, a lot of the fighting for me. This guy. If I do summon my boss, I always make sure I just finish summoning a bunch of skeletons, because this good player can dodge this guy like all day long. So they'll be dodging away from you, dodge McGee, dodge all your hits, but eventually your skeletons will kind of block them in. Make sure that I have a lot of skeletons, and then I'll summon my boss if I want to just finish people off that way. If they're good at dodging, you need for them to either be trapped in a corner, inside a house, you know, you need them in some tight space, or you need skeletons to prevent them from dodging forever. That's how a lot of times I get kills with him. I'm kind of hurting them like closer to my skeletons, that then it's going to be harder for them to escape. This build, again, that's my logic. That's kind of my thinking for this build, is everything's to beef up my army first, and when you're leveling it up, I was always upgrading my basic units first. The whole prestige system, that's just extra. Like on this guy, I don't really need the prestige. It's just kind of extra points that's gonna give me more of an edge. I never really understood the idea of doing build videos, since, you know, in my opinion, your build should be catered towards what you want to do, how you want to play, your play styles. I mean, this is it, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah. This is my other good demon that I'm good with. Okay, so this is my level 45 ultimate build for her. I have all the points I can invested into, once again, the balance bar, health, and base damage of the skeletons, the basic skeletons. I do tend to possess them a little bit more than I would possess units on Evil Ash. The thing about her skeletons is they have this spin attack. It's really good for if you're like, say, attacking a book or an objective, or you're just like, people are about to dogpile on you, then you hit this spin attack and it kind of does a little bit of damage against everybody in the vicinity, and you just keep spamming the circle spin. Say you put a plot down, everyone's kind of dogpiling the plot, then you go in and spin attack on those people. So the other half of the build is basically all invested into the witch, her scream, her potion, all her abilities basically, obviously her damage and base balance bar and health and all that. So this build is completely split between her basic skeletons and the boss unit herself. And for me, it's just been working wonders. On Survivor side, my favorite way to go out is to an army of skeletons. So if I can provide that for people I'm fighting against, then I feel like that's kind of a win for both sides. Her boss unit is very freaking reliable. I feel like you can do a lot with her, and a lot of it, she is kind of squishy. Like if you get stuck in a corner and you get piled on, like, you can go down pretty fast. So you want to keep mobile, you want to kind of use your brains and outsmart them and lure people away, or like you want to kite people on her basically. What I do a lot of kiting, and sometimes you can lure people out of the objective. I do not rely on the pit deadite too much. The way I use them is I'll just spawn them every now and then when I have the extra energy. I'll just kind of spawn it and forget about it, and I try not to possess it because I'm no good with controlling it. I don't really like playing as it, so I just kind of use that as an extra unit on the field. If I have the energy to spawn it, I'll spawn it just to buy time or add a unit, and that's pretty much it. This is my ultimate level 45. And once again, even though it's the best build for me, catered to me and my playstyle, it might not work for you. So, I feel like I shouldn't have to explain that, but I'm just throwing that out there. I've got a lot of wins with her and my Necro, her and the Necro. I just tend to do a lot better with the skeletons because I'm so invested in the coolness of skeleton. It helps me do better. It's gonna mean more to me. I love the puke, don't get me wrong. The puke makes them a lot cooler, but I don't know, they're just basic deadites, right? So they're just like normie deadites. Whereas Elagos is a little bit better for me. I just have a lot of respect for the character design. Like, he looks like nothing else in Evil Dead. He's really its own entity in the Evil Dead universe, and I really have a lot of respect for him and his clones, the boss unit and his clones. Even the basics are kind of cool because they don't just look like regular deadites, they have this kind of alien, otherworldly look to them too. So I have a lot of respect for this character. I tend not to play them as much. But the thing about Evil Ash is I've never really liked the helmet he wears. Even if she's got a small amount of screen time, I feel like she's more of a badass in a way. If I were to make a tier list of just the bosses, I don't even man, let's not even go there. I don't even know how I would rate that. But between these two, the boss units, the Witch is way more fun and engaging to play as, whereas Badass, he kind of just sucks in a way, but he does mega damage. So if you can pull off a hit, it only takes like 2 or 3 hits to down a person sometimes, if it's a heavy attack. So his combat maybe isn't as fun, the boss combat. I feel like her combat is more engaging, but if you do the Army of Darkness build with him, which it really they go hand in hand, her boss unit gets the edge combat. She's more fun to play, but his elite units I think are way cooler and look cooler. It's like, do I want to have a really fun, engaging PvP experience with the boss unit and her skeletons, or do I want to kind of just rely on all my army, amass a big army, and just be entertained by watching them, and maybe at the end spawn my boss to finish people off? That's like, my boss is there to do finishers basically on people with him. So yeah, I don't know, but anyway, that's my build. So that's my ultimate 45 build.
What do?